What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project XTalk and Xbox Podcast, episode number 88. I'm your host, Kevin, aka The Muffin Mon, and today I am joined by the future of esports himself, Amon. How you doing, buddy?
As good as always. Excited to be here and talk some Xbox Showcase.
Yes, and we are also joined by Mr. Physical Copy himself, Ethan. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm riding that high from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Excited to talk about that today.
I'm excited to hear about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles today. But as you've noticed, if you are watching on YouTube, we are joined by a special guest this week. He is the creator of the JampackSam YouTube channel and the host of Exhibition and Xbox podcast, where he delivers the latest Xbox and gaming news in his beautiful, sultry voice. I'm pleased to welcome Samuel Adams to the show. How are you, my friend?
Huzzah.
Doing fantastic. Thank you guys so much for inviting me on. And of course, super exciting week to be on another Xbox show. We have the Showcase Extended, tons of stuff to discuss. But yeah, just super happy to be here. And thanks for the intro.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on. Now, if people aren't familiar with you, I gave them a little rundown, but you want to give a little plug for yourself? Tell them what Exhibition and your content's all about?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I do Exhibition, an Xbox podcast. It comes out every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and I kind of go through the big news stories of the week, share my 2 cents. Generally, the show runs like 25 minutes, 30 minutes, really tight, compact kind of thing, just to keep everybody in the loop and scratch that content creation itch that I think we've all kind of got. But recently, been doing a lot of TikTok, a lot of YouTube shorts, that kind of thing. So JampackSam, everywhere you can find me. Hope to see you guys over there. But again, just super excited to be here. This is what it's all about right here, Project XTalk.
Well, thank you. I know I found you from our mutual friend Luke Lore over there at Xbox Expansion Pass, and I've been listening weekly. Great show over there. So I was like, I gotta get Sam on, and thank you for coming on. So. Remember, if you like this podcast, we are live every Thursday, roughly 5 p.m. Eastern time, right here on YouTube. If you can't catch us live, we post every Friday morning on your favorite podcast service at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And while you're over there, please leave us a review or rating, whether that's Apple, Spotify. Help us get up in those discoverability charts. You know, that's how we do it. Just like Nasty Nate did, where he said, these guys get episodes to you fast and frequent. I always get something to listen to while walking the dogs, and I love the dynamic between them. Great insights, great taste, great podcasts. Give them a listen. Thank you so much, Nate, for dropping that 5-star review over on Apple. If you want your review read live on the show, drop us 5 stars over on Apple, and I'll read it here. If you want to interact with us more, please come join our Discord. The link is down in the description below. It's been popping off lately. We got more people coming in. Come hang out with us. Come chat games. And if you want early access to all of our content besides the live podcast, head on over to patreon.com/projectxtalk for $1 a month. You get all of our content early, plus the Patreon shout out. So thank you to Bucky Blue, Hopple, and Alpaca Tom for supporting us. We appreciate all of you. But now that housekeeping is out of the way, since we have a guest, I have to ask our Xbox-related guest questions. So
Yes.
Sam, I want your introduction to the Xbox ecosystem. What was your console that got you in, and your favorite Xbox franchise?
So for me, basically, I grew up as a PlayStation kid. Like my mom always bought PlayStation stuff. That was just what I was raised to play on. And then I started, getting into middle school, high school. My friends were playing Halo 3 at the time. And then we all started getting, as we tend to do, really into Call of Duty. And they were all playing on Xbox 360. And I was like, well, I guess it's time to make the jump. So I got an Xbox 360 one year for Christmas. And this was probably around the year between Call of Duty Black Ops and the following one, which I believe was Modern Warfare 3, if my memory serves correctly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I jumped in there. We had a whole group that played together at my high school, and it just kind of spiraled from there. The Xbox One generation, I mainly played on PS4. Like I think a lot of people in the community kind of switched over and did just after the whole launch debacle and, TV integration and stuff.
Mhm.
I know I see the betrayal over there. I'm not sure if that's at me switching or if that's at the TV
No,
stuff.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah. So I switched from 360 to PS4, and then whenever the Series X came out, I had gotten an Xbox One X and got super into the Game Pass, grind, where I just had all of these games that I was discovering towards the latter half of that gen.
Mhm.
And yeah, so now I'm full in Xbox. I don't have any intention of really getting a PS5 at any point. So I love the Series X. It's just kind of where I spend the time and where I want to play at. But in terms of my favorite Xbox franchise, I'm gonna have to go the tried and true Halo. Like it's just the classic.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you just dive in. I love Infinite. I've kind of fallen off recently just because the 2 maps that they added for the new season didn't quite bring me back enough time and time again. But yeah, Halo still is always going to hold a very special place in my heart.
Absolutely. Amon does not like Halo, so
No.
he doesn't have
Don't
any
get
idea
him
what you're talking
started.
about. You know, he every week I gotta listen to this guy over here be like, "Halo's overrated, bro."
Don't even unmute
You
yourself,
know,
Amon.
yeah,
We're not
don't
doing
even.
this.
I don't know. I
We're
don't
not
want to hear.
doing this.
Not this week. All right, we got a guest. We're keeping it civil. Halo is great. Well done. And yeah, I understand that. I mean, I didn't switch over during the Xbox One. I just suffered. I just was like, I'm not gonna have any good games to play.
Just sat and stared at the
And
home
this-
screen of the console.
And this is
You
what we're doing.
You just waited on to fix Master Chief Collection and played Sunset Overdrive. That was pretty much the
I didn't
entire
even play
generation.
Sunset Overdrive.
Ooh.
So
Wow.
I literally I was like Battleborn.
You just played Rise Son of Rome for 5 years straight.
I did play Rise Son of Rome. That's a great game.
It
Give me a
is.
sequel. Fantastic game. But that is our housekeeping officially out of the way. So let's get into what everyone has been playing. So, Amon, I'm going to start with you. I want to know what you've been playing this week.
All right. So first of all, I've actually checked. All right, I'll do that just a second. Yeah, first of all, I've been playing The Last of Us Remastered on PlayStation 4. So I was just scrolling through Twitter and I've seen like a bunch of comparisons between the remake and the remastered. So I have to say the remake looks absolutely phenomenal. But so I already had The Last of Us Remastered downloaded on my PlayStation 4. So I decided to give it a try and just get into that world for a tiny bit of time. But then I just got hooked again. And so in 2 5-hour sittings, I beat the game again. I think Neil Druckmann, again, is a legendary storyteller, and I'm in love with this game, my top 5 of all time. And bear in mind, this is my second time playing it, and I enjoyed it just as much as my first try. So yeah, this game aged like fine wine. The other thing I've been playing is The Quarry, and unfortunately, I did not get to play this on my Series X. I had to play it on my PS4 because I bought it through a gift voucher. So if you're on our Discord, I graduated last week, and one of my relatives gave me a PlayStation 4 gift card. So I decided to buy The Quarry, and I've since seen a lot of people say good stuff about it, including Ethan. But yeah, it's a very super massive games type of game, very narrative driven. It was cool to see some familiar faces such as David Arquette, Ariel Winters. But yeah, this game is essentially an upgraded version of Until Dawn, I would say. I love how they replace the totems in Until Dawn with the tarot cards that actually show like helpful information. Also, the characters aren't complete idiots. There is some level of self-awareness between the characters, which is a good change compared to Until Dawn, where it's it's the usual dumb teenagers. But yeah, the characters are well written. Each unique in their own way. The story is great. It has a very 90s corny horror movie vibe, which I'm all in for. And yeah, looking forward to playing it more of this game, as I have yet to beat it. But yeah, I'm having fun with it so far.
I've heard it has the like campy 80s, 90s horror movie tropes going
Y'all
on.
are taking the words out of my mouth for when I talk about it,
Really?
for sure. Yeah.
Well, Amon, one question. Since you're playing The Last of Us now, are you going to get the remake for
Yes.
when you eventually get a PS5?
I don't have a PS5 at the moment, but when I do get the PS5, that's one of the first games I'll look to pick up. That and God of War for sure.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Ethan, what have you been playing?
The reason I'm probably going to pick it up is because like I've played the game before. I'll probably beat it in like 8 to 10 hours. So, it's a quick, I can get a few trophies in there and have a good time while doing it.
Are you going to buy it for $70? You're going to wait for a sale?
Probably wait for a sale.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was more asking.
It's 70, I just don't see $70 for, I can't justify paying that.
Sony has sold us the same game in like a span of 4 years. Good on them.
This is the 4th time selling it.
Good on them.
PS3, PS4, PS4 remaster, and now the remake. So yeah,
big money.
It's Kyle in the chat actually says it aged so well that the remake's unnecessary and a pure cash grab.
I don't know. Some of those comparisons when they were doing the side-by-side
it looks great.
Those were pretty drastic changes that they
sure.
did. Do I think they necessarily needed it? No, but it's cool to see.
Absolutely. Ethan, you've been playing The Quarry too, but you've been playing some other stuff. I want to hear all about it.
Okay, so I got 3 games that I want to talk about today. The first one being Industria. This was just kind of a purchase on the way. This was before The Quarry came out, and I was bored and I wanted a new game. So I picked this up. I remember seeing the trailer at Summer Games Fest 2021, and I think they actually did the launch trailer at Summer Games Fest this year. It takes place in East Germany during the fall of the Berlin Wall, and you're like this scientist that's dealing with alternate realities, and there's a bunch of weird stuff going on, and you get hemmed up in this different dimension where these robots are attacking you. And anyways, the story's not all that important because it's really not that interesting. This game is 100% supposed to be played on PC. This is one of those games that they're on console, but it's obvious it was supposed to be played on PC. There's a lot of AA jank to it, a lot of pop in, some just weird stuff going on. Ultimately, I didn't get too much out of it. It is $20. If you are like a huge fan of that kind of Soviet bloc style game like Stalker or something like that, I would say pick this up for $20 on PC on Steam. Don't pick this up on console. But overall, for the casual fan, I wouldn't recommend this. But it was an interesting little 5-hour journey. But and then the next game I want to talk about is The Quarry. Like you guys were saying, I mean, you guys took the words out of my mouth. That 80s campy, horror vibe mixed with the modern setting. All the characters are really well written. Like Aman said, each one of them had their own backstory. Each one of them had their own story arc. And I think a lot of them progressed very well. Some of them you don't get necessarily a conclusion to their story at the end of the game, but I think that's also depending on how you play. I think the dev said there's like 190 something different endings you could get with this game. And there is a lot of decisions to make during this game, and there's a lot of consequences for those decisions. I was lucky enough to get through the whole playthrough with everybody still alive, which I hear a lot of people.
What world?
A lot of people apparently didn't do that, which surprised me because there were some decisions, but they were decisions that I made where I'm like, oh, that's going to come back to bite me in the ass later. But luckily, I made all the correct decisions, I guess. But it's just a super fun game. It took me probably about 7 hours to get through, and the replay value is absolutely through the roof for this type of game. I mean, this dev team just absolutely knocked it out of the park again. I'm a huge fan of Until Dawn. This is a big step up from Until Dawn in terms of storytelling, in terms of writing, obviously graphics, but I mean, it's just a really beautiful game and a really fun time. So I definitely recommend, for those of you that don't want to spend the $70, maybe wait for a price drop. I did buy the Series X version because I have the Series X and I wanted the full experience. I think it was worth it. Especially for the replay value alone. There's a lot of collectibles, a lot of stuff you can find along the way, a lot of different decisions to make so you can see the outcome of those decisions. And then there's also a cool thing called movie mode where you can set the traits of all the characters in the game and just let it play out, and you can watch it like you're watching a movie. So I thought that was pretty interesting too for people that maybe want to just see what happens if you do this, but they don't want to go ahead and play through the whole game again.
I've literally never played a super massive game and had everyone live. Like people always,
Until Dawn, I didn't have everyone live.
I'm literally like, if like 3 people get through, I'm like, this is a success. We did it, boys. Mission accomplished.
There's 2 factions kind of where you can determine whether they live or die. There's the family. I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to spoil anything. There's this family, and then there's the campers. The family took a lot of casualties. They took a lot of L's, but they're kind of the bad guy. There's so many gray areas in this game, and so many, like, I can't really assign the moniker bad guys to them, but a bunch of them took casualties, so that was unfortunate, but just super fun. I love playing it, and I'm probably going to do another playthrough this week because my wife wants to watch me play it. She was really getting into it. She really liked it. And then the last game I want to talk about is, I've only been playing for about 2 hours before the podcast, but that is TMNT Shredder's Revenge. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say about this game besides this is exactly what you'd want if you were a kid that liked playing those big arcade cabinet games. I mean, this has everything you would want out of that without the added stress of asking your mom for more quarters. I mean, it is absolutely just 100% a blast of a game. You have a story mode where you can play as all 4 of the turtles, Master Splinter, and April. And then I guess you can unlock one more character at the end. I don't see him on the selection.
Yeah, Casey, you gotta beat the story mode to unlock Casey Jones.
Yes. So I've gotten through the first 5 story missions, and I played as both Donatello and Master Splinter. I really like how both of them play. Master Splinter's a lot quicker than Donatello, but Donatello has that reach to him. But it can get a little repetitive at times because it really is just you can just button mash through this. It's a beat 'em up. But I mean, if you're just into that sort of arcade style game, beat 'em up game, I mean, this is a must play for you. It is so much fun. It is an absolute. I mean, it's not a game I would sit down and play 5 hours straight of. I'll take a break and go play something else, but I'll come back and play a few more levels. I mean, this is going to be a great game to go through, and I highly recommend it.
Well, speaking of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I want to know what your favorite turtle is. If you're watching live, please put it in the chat, but I'm going to go around. Sam, what's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Ooh, see, I never really got into TMNT growing up.
Okay.
Yeah, but I will say, are we having a bigger Shredder's Revenge section later? Is that going to be a bigger topic of conversation?
No, we could probably talk about it right now, but
I'll loop into it in a minute. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to say Donatello, because that's the most recent one you just said. So there we go. That's my favorite one.
And I'm just going to get it out of the way too, because I'm the same way. I didn't grow up with this on TV. I'm too young for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle days. I was like a baby when this was popping off. But Donatello, I guess, because that's who I'm playing as, and I love his reach. I love that staff that he uses. It kicks ass.
Okay. Amon, who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Raphael.
Oh, interesting. Well, I asked on Twitter who the audience's favorite Ninja Turtle was. And the winner with 32% of the vote is Michelangelo.
Wow.
Followed by Leonardo, followed by Donatello, and followed by Raphael.
32%. That means it was pretty close.
Yes, Michelangelo.
Michelangelo's the orange one, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes. I'm a Donatello guy. I would like to say we got
like
3 Donatello guys, but you guys aren't exactly giving me lots of confidence that Donatello is actually your favorite turtle.
I was digging deep trying to remember like the names of these turtles, and I was like, wait, Franklin was a children's show in the 90s. That's not a teenage.
No, that's not it.
I want to see some fan art now of Franklin the turtle with the teenage
with Master Splinter just beating up ninjas.
Sam, you had some more to say about Shredder's Revenge, though. You want to loop that in now?
Yeah, sure. I was going to say I did a preview of the game a couple of weeks back for an outlet that I write occasionally for, so I got a little bit of hands-on time with the first few levels. I think it was what was shown during PAX. It was the PAX demo, so I haven't gotten into the full build that's out today on Game Pass. But the time that I spent with it was super good. I mean, it just feels, like you said, Ethan, it is a 90s beat 'em up in the best way possible. Like it's just full going all in on nostalgia. It feels modern, like it feels tight. I like it more than Streets of Rage, the most recent Streets of Rage. It feels better to me. And thematically, like it just looks great. It hits all of the tropes that you needed to hit. Wonderful game so far.
Awesome. I cannot wait. I'm going
to. Then another thing real quick
after the podcast
I could tie in is that this game is really funny. I mean, the writers took a lot. They had a lot of heart to write some of this fun stuff that's going on around you. If you pay attention and look at what the enemies are doing, there's a lot of funny things that happen in this game. One of them, I know in the first level, you're liberating Channel 6's news building, and you go through this one area where they're filming a cooking show. And when you first walk in there, all the ninjas that you're fighting, they're on the cooking show and they're cooking something. And then throughout that whole room, they're fighting you with wooden spoons and frozen hams. And it's just little stuff like that. The little, details that they put in there that I think makes this game so special.
Sweet. I'm very excited to play. My brother and my friend, we're going to hop in after the show tonight and get some turtle time. But Sam, I'm going to go to you. What have you been playing?
Recently, it has been a Diablo week in my household.
Nice.
My girlfriend and I started playing Diablo 3 co-op, like couch co-op, on the Series X because it was on sale. There was a $20 deal on the Ultimate Evil Edition that includes the base game, all the DLC, the Necromancer pack, like everything you need. Yeah, and so I got into that after I started playing Diablo Immortal, which is a very controversial little item right now. But I had never played Diablo before I got into Immortal. Like I'd always, heard about it. I played the demo for Diablo 2 Resurrected right before it came out. But yeah, so I got into Immortal. Is it a perfect game? No, arguably really, really malicious and really bad in terms of like microtransactions. But like the gameplay loop is fun. So I've been playing some of that on mobile, and then I switched over and started playing Diablo 3 on the Series X, and then a small pinch of Sniper Elite 5. I threw that in there as well. So I've been getting some X-ray nut kills and jumping back and forth between that and Diablo 3. So that's been pretty much my last 2 weeks.
I love Diablo 3. That's a game I put a few hundred hours into. I always choose Barbarian. I've tried the other classes, but like Barbarians are like if I'm committing, I'm putting time into my Barbarian. Yeah, I love Barbarian. My brother's a Necromancer guy, so he's pretty excited to see Necromancers coming back as base game content for Diablo 4.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about later. But that's awesome. What class you guys picking over there, Sam?
I am running a Crusader, so
Good choice.
just a general kind of like it feels like the good first run, like intro into the world of Diablo. And then my girlfriend's been playing them since she was like a kid. She grew up on Diablo 2, and she's played 3 a ton already, so she's been playing as a Necromancer as well. So we're a pretty good combo. We run through those bosses pretty fast.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's a great game. End game can get a little. End game is really you have to start min maxing, and it's like it gets a little tedious, and that's where I kind of fall off of it. But I do love me some Diablo. In terms of what I've been playing, man, do I have some stories for you guys? I beat Chorus. I talked about it last week. This game, I would say I enjoyed 50% of it and I hated 50% of it. I just don't understand. They would give you one section where it's like, this was a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying myself. And then they're like, oh, how can we make him miserable in the next fight? Let's put these enemies and then have them be really annoying. The boss fights, the giant like worm where you had to shoot the blisters and like go inside, infuriating. Like I was playing on easy and this game was kicking my butt. I was like, I'm either really bad at this game or I'm missing a crucial mechanic. Cause like I felt like as soon as I got the one where you could like shoot a lightning bolt and take away shields and then upgraded my missile launcher to like lock on missiles, game got a lot better. Like that was really, and like, but drifting never got the hang
That's
of
what
it.
I was going to say. That's what you need to make this game a lot
I could not do it.
A lot better to play is drifting. That's like an essential part of this game is being able to drift that ship.
Couldn't do it. And then the final boss fight or the final boss fight itself was so dumb. Like chase this guy for 5 minutes until at a point, and then you're gonna have to fight him in the big. Oh my god! I can't even. It was just it took way too long. I swear the final level took me like an hour and a half, and I was like, it's just taking me forever to do. I don't feel like I'm doing anything. I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. So.
Now I gotta ask: did the achievements actually unlock for you?
Yeah, all my achievements popped. No problem. I didn't have any issues with that.
I played it at launch, and half the achievements for me didn't pop. So I'm still pretty salty about that game.
I'm glad I didn't pay for it. That's all I'm gonna say. Game Pass is coming in clutch here. Going from Chorus, which is like okay, it's a fine game, to a game where I'm pretty disappointed, and that's Mario Strikers Battle League. All right. I love Mario Strikers. The gameplay of Mario Strikers Battle League is great. I love actually playing the game. The problem is there's 2 game modes, and it's you either play cups against AI or you go online. And I was like, okay, that's fine. No problem. I'll play online as long as me, my friend, and my brother can all team up. It's 4v4, right? No. Nintendo says, hey, you can do 2v2. And then you can each play 2 characters. In what world does this make sense, Nintendo? You give me a 4v4 soccer game and tell me you can only play with one other person. You have a clubs mode. You allow 20 people to join your club, and then you tell me you can play with one of them. I just don't understand the thought process here. It just doesn't make any sense. So
that sounds like the most Nintendo thing Nintendo would ever do. It's like the most Nintendo thing ever. Yeah,
it's so discouraging.
And sounds like Nintendo's Halo Infinite.
Like they're gonna go change it. Yeah,
I'm tweeting at them weekly until they change it. That's where I'm at.
They will add multiplayer as part of the big Nintendo Online subscription.
Like $25 a month.
Yeah. You can do that, and then you can play a whole bunch of poorly ported old NES games. There you go.
Oh man, and I'm hoping that game gets better. I'm treating it as a live service right now. It launched bare bones, and they're gonna improve it, give me some more characters, and hopefully 4v4. But the other game I've been playing and I've put 15 hours into so far is I don't actually know how to say the title. It's Wise Yeez 8. Lacrimosa of Dana. This is a long running JRPG series. Okay, they just had a new one last years ago, last year. I just don't know how to say, like, because it's a YS. So I'm like, is it Yeez? Is it Y's? I don't know. I've never actually heard anyone say it. This game's great. I really enjoy what I'm playing so far. It's what? Mon's lagging super hard. Yes, I don't know. I find that hard to believe.
I thought it was Yeez. Yeah. All these years, I thought it was Yeez.
I think it's
I'm gonna go with Yeez just to disagree with them.
I've seen streamers pronounce it as yes.
When did streamers
I've seen like a bunch of people pronounce
words.
All right. Well, this is the 8th one. I also downloaded number 9 because they're both on the new PlayStation Plus service that I got. What I will say about this game is that the first 2 chapters, very slow going. It's chapter 2 is probably the longest chapter in the game so far, and I have no idea why, because once you get to chapter 3, they're like, everything you just did in the first 2 chapters, disregard that. This is where the story starts in chapter 3. There's 6 chapters. You got to get halfway through the game before the story actually kicks in. The rest is like background information and just random like exploring the island. And I'm just like, okay, it seems
sounds
like
Dragon Age, where you play the first like 5 hours and then you just become a criminal, and then the story actually starts.
It was a big tonal shift. All right, things just started happening, and I was like, I don't know where. Like before, we were just shipwrecked on an island, and now things are happening. I don't want to spoil too much in case anyone goes plays the game, but I like it. It's action RPG. So it's not turn-based. So Ethan, you could stand it since you don't like turn-based.
Thank God.
Yeah, since you don't like turn-based games. And the combos are like crazy over the top. Like I'll be floating in midair for a while. It's got kind of like Devil May Cry vibes. I wouldn't say Tales of Arise. I think this is probably more over the top than not in terms of visuals, because some of the effects in Tales of Arise were more higher budget, but like in terms of combos,
you're like Scarlet Nexus. Just insane combos and always in the air.
Yeah, it's really good. I'll probably have that beat. I'm trying to get that done by next week, so when Fire Emblem comes out on Friday, I can just play that and be happy with my life, giving gifts to waifus and loving everyone. So this game has so many systems, man. You can give gifts to people. There's like little battle arena mini games. Okay, what's the sigh?
Sometimes it's just too much with all the gift giving that's in so many JRPGs. It was in Scarlet Nexus, and I just didn't want to keep track of having to give gifts to everybody. I'm dealing with a world-ending threat here. Why am I worrying about giving gifts to my party members? It's so frustrating.
Always time for love, Ethan.
No.
Okay, guys. I just checked it. It's apparently, I just checked the pronunciation. It's East. It's East Lacrimosa.
So we were all wrong.
Yeah.
I think I was also wrong because there was a Y in there. Yeah, I had a Y on mine. I also looked it up though. It's on Reddit. They say it's geese without the G. So
no. I refuse to accept that one. Okay, the other ones I can all right, probably won't say it that way. I refuse.
Reddit tells me, so it must be true.
Exactly.
Right? Reddit. Get out. No.
In Japanese, it's pronounced Isu.
That one's better. I can get behind.
Probably the correct one.
Yeah. All right. So Isu 8, Lacrimosa of Dana is what I'm going with. But that is all we have for what you're playing. So, guys, have a seat while I grab some books from the library and tell you this week's stories. Basically, our only story is the Xbox Bethesda Showcase happened last Sunday. We live reacted to it, but we've had some time to process our thoughts, feelings. There's been an extended showcase. We've gotten some more information about the games. So we're going to do a recap of the show, go game by game. If we want to talk about it, we can talk about it. If not, we'll move on. But we're going to start at the top with their opener, and that was Arcane's newest game, Redfall. Sam, what are your thoughts about Redfall? Like your initial overarching impressions of what you saw? Are you impressed? Are you looking forward to it after the gameplay?
This is like an overwhelming it's fine. I'm sure it'll be good, but for me, games that rely heavily on having someone else to play with are a turnoff, just because the majority of my game time is between 6 and 8 a.m. most days, sometimes a little bit earlier. I don't really have time at nights. So the general population of my friend group is not going to be like, you know what, 5:30 Redfall, yeah. So the good part is that it is coming to Game Pass, so I will have the opportunity to, dive in, and it kind of has that Back for Blood benefit of being able to say, hey, new co-op game just dropped, everybody jump on. But at the same time, the gameplay to me looked a little rough. Like, I know it was still early gameplay, it's not out soon. So I'm sure they'll iron that out, but I liked the transparency of it. Like, that was clearly not cleaned up, not CGI trailer stuff. Like, that was just straight up what you're going to be getting, which I really enjoyed for sure.
Awesome. Guys, just feel free to jump in. We're going to be just talking. So Redfall impressions, go for it.
Yeah, so this was probably my biggest surprise of the showcase in terms of like I went into this not hardly knowing anything about Redfall. I mean, this was such an unknown to me, so to actually see this gameplay and see how it was being fleshed out was really interesting to me. I love Arcane. I love how their games look. I love how they play. I just finished up a Dishonored run, very high chaos, of course, and I really enjoyed that. And I saw a lot of those elements in this game. In terms of gunplay and like just how the world looked and everything. And, I'm just a huge fan of Arcane, so I'm excited. But I'm kind of on the same wavelength here as Sam in terms of games that sort of require you to play with others to progress, efficiently. Games like Sea of Thieves or any MMO out there, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. But, are you going to consistently have people hopping on and playing? That's the big question here. And I don't think I'm going to, but I'll solo it as much as I can. I can say that much.
So interestingly enough, Arcane came out afterwards and said that the game can be played solo or co-op, and that if you decide to play co-op, progress is tied to whoever hosts the game. So if you play co-op make sure it's the same person, otherwise your campaign progress isn't going to be there, which I absolutely hate.
That sounds awful.
Terrible decision. You're telling me if my friend who I joined their game isn't on that night, I just can't play without starting over? I don't understand why games do that.
At that point, it feels like a job. It's like if you don't want to play it that night, but my buddy does, it's just, that's kind of silly to me. So probably going to be doing solo runs on this game.
Aman, what are your thoughts on Redfall?
Yeah, I mean, I had my eyes on this game ever since it was announced. I always hyped it up during our podcast, and I'm happy to say it didn't disappoint. I am a solo gamer. I don't like playing co-op, so I am going to solo this. And I'm pretty sure Arcane did say that this game can be completely played solo. And knowing it's Arcane, I'm pretty sure it's going to be similar to what Dishonored or Prey was. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I like the whole vampire genre. So yeah, this game has me hooked.
Yeah, so my overall impressions were very positive, actually. When I saw the initial reveal trailer last year, I was like, that does not look like something I want to play. And then I saw this, and I'm kind of the opposite, where I'm like, a co-op shooter that looks kind of like Left 4 Dead style vibes, sign me up. Like, I'm all for those kind of games. Like, I'm anything to jump in with my brother and my friend, and we can all play together. That's right up my alley. So this game kind of sold me on it. Like, I'm looking forward to Redfall now.
Yeah. Back for Blood, from what I hear, didn't really scratch that itch for a lot of people. So
it was good to have.
It'll be good to have a game in the ecosystem like a Left 4 Dead again. So, looking for group posts on Xbox in my future, probably. So,
so just hit me up. We'll play. You can be our
get on every night at 6 o'clock on the dot.
Yeah. We'll schedule it in the Discord. Well, actually, you know what, Sam? I'm awake that early. Maybe I'll hit you up. We could play early in the morning. Ethan, you up for some 7 a.m.?
Yeah, I'm always up for morning gaming. That's my morning coffee.
I mean,
gaming.
Same.
How? Ever since summer vacation has started, I've been getting up at like 10 every single day. So I don't know how you guys get up at 6.
Okay, the older you get, the more you'll hate that. Trust me. You feel like you waste the damn day.
I get up at 5:30.
Yeah, I was going to say, I normally wake up at between 5 and 5:30, but now if you try and text me after 10 o'clock, that is a 20-80 chance, my friends. You will probably not find me.
No.
After Redfall, guys, we got Hollow Knight Silk Song gameplay trailer. No release date for this. I don't really have anything to say on this. If someone on the panel wants to jump in, if they're a Hollow Knight fan, go for it. If not, I can keep moving along.
Neat that it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, really cool. It's good to see. I also looked it up. This isn't going to be on PlayStation. I thought this was going to be cross-platform. I was actually pretty surprised.
It was announced.
It's on Switch, it's on PC, and it's on Xbox. I looked it up just before the show, and they said there's no plans right now to bring it to PS4, PS5. So I was actually pretty surprised.
That's a big get.
Usually you don't see Switch and Xbox only. Usually it's all three if there's anybody else.
That's weird.
That's pretty wild.
Like the first one was on PlayStation, I'm pretty sure.
The first one was on PlayStation 4.
It's on everything. I assume this was also going to be on everything.
Yeah, I did too. It's kind of wild, but
wow.
Yeah. Good get for Xbox. You know, what I'm thinking of is, you know how these Game Pass games work and how Xbox basically pays for the development of these games. I mean, you know, there's always deals to be made.
It could be a case of they after we've seen it with other indie games, right? Like they'll be on Xbox Game Pass for like 6 months, then they'll come to PlayStation.
Yeah. And you know, that's how the first that's how the first Hollow Knight was. You know, it started on PC and then a year later it got its console upgrades. It might be the same thing here, where you know, they get some console releases and then a year later, we're going to put it on PlayStation. Get that double dip going.
I was gonna say I don't remember if it was that situation, but if it's like a console launch exclusive, then in a year or whatever it'll launch, and then you get not only the marketing boost of hey, new game on PlayStation, you also have, it's also on Xbox, and it's on Game Pass.
Yeah. And you know, Sony will be doing state of play, showing it off when it comes to it. So I mean, it's actually a pretty smart strategy by these game developers to, you know, stagger their releases. I don't like that. I hope that's not the future. But if I was a shareholder of one of these dev teams right now, I'd be like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's triple dip.
It's kind of looking like the future. Not even for just indie games, AAA games are doing that.
Yeah.
How many console launch exclusives do we see in this list that I'm reading from, right? You know, like they're going to be on PlayStation eventually. But speaking of one, High on Life from the Rick and Morty guys over at Squanch Studios.
This looks cool.
I thought this looked really fun.
Yeah, I think it as well. It looks really it just looks really fun, I think, is what it really comes down to. It's going to be a good time. It's not going to be like a super accurate Battlefield style shooter, but it'll just be a great little romp.
Oh yeah.
I hope it just doesn't smash you. Yeah, the guns look great, but I just hope it doesn't smash you over the head constantly with that Rick and Morty humor, because sometimes that can just get a little old, you know, if it's pushed too far.
I think that it's gonna do that. I think it's gonna do that. Yeah, but the guns look super cool. Each of them had a unique voice, a unique name and stuff. So yeah, pretty.
What was that guy? Knifey,
like your main character
like that.
Or stabbing.
It was like there weren't really any characters in the game. The guns are the characters. So yeah, that was a cool take on it.
Yeah.
It looks really interesting. Comes out in October, which I don't know if it's the right time, because October's pretty stacked for game releases if everything holds their release dates. You got Midnight Suns, you got Gotham Knights, so there's some Persona 5 Royal, as we're going to talk about. But yeah, there's a lot of things coming out in October. So this game, I think being on Game Pass could be a benefit, because I'm definitely going to download it. And even if I can't get to it right away, it's going to be sitting there. I know I want to check it out.
Exactly.
Even then, though, like if there's a lot of games that are launching in October, what is the overlap of players that are like, oh, Midnight Suns versus the players that are like, oh, I need to play this Rick and Morty shooter game? You know, I feel like a lot of people, this is going to be, in my opinion, a game that people are like, oh, sick, Rick and Morty game, I'm in.
Yeah.
In the same way, like people aren't really going to be going out and like, oh, I need to choose between Marvel's Midnight Suns versus this necessarily. Like there will be an overlap, but I think it'll be a small one.
Yeah. Like I said, I think being on Game Pass is very beneficial, and I'm excited to see what this like. Who knows? They could have a hit on their hands, and then you look forward to their next game, and it just looks so much fun. Like I watched the trailer again today, and it was cracking me up. Where he's like, "Now everybody fight!" and like all the little like Care Bears are like beating each other up. I was like, "Yeah, I'm in on this game," and that was not one I expected. Next, we have the Riot Games collaboration announcement. Nothing
that interests me, but it is pretty huge.
Yes,
for the PC market. I mean, this Xbox really reached into the PC market with this.:, Valorant, League of Legends, and you can unlock all of the, what are they called, avatars, or like, I don't know what they're called, but
the characters
or whatever. I mean, I'm hearing from people that it would take years or hundreds of dollars to unlock all of these characters in these games, and Xbox is just handing it to you with the Game Pass subscription. That's pretty big.
Yeah, I think it's like $700 to unlock all the champions in League of Legends, or you go subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate for $15.
Yeah, you got to think how many people are playing League right now, just generally on PC, and they look at that deal and they go, "Oh, I can just hop over to Game Pass and finish unlocking everything." I mean, that's pretty big.
I think that this is a important deal because we've seen for a while now Xbox kind of, I don't want to say neglect, but PC Game Pass hasn't been held to the same standard as the console Game Pass, right? So it's kind of been like the second class citizen of the Game Pass world. And I think this is clearly an announcement meant for those gamers over on the PC side.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think they really need to do more to add value to the PC space, as you have this kind of like trifecta of console, cloud, PC. Right now, it's like, you have those day one releases. That's great, but you have to meet players on PC where they are. And so the majority of PC players, from my perspective, like I don't play it, but I watch a lot of Valorant. I watch a lot of League, like that kind of thing. These are big games in that ecosystem. And so establishing this relationship makes the overall goal in my mind is for PC Game Pass to essentially become as necessary as Xbox Live was for the Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Like that's kind of what they should be shooting for if they want to make it a viable business proposition in the PC space going forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Next one, A Plague Tale Requiem.
Oh yeah. We're excited about this.
My future game of the year.
All right, chill out with that.
No, bro. IGN dropped an exclusive gameplay preview.
Yes.
I showed it to you. Everything I could hope for is. I was on Carpool Gaming earlier this week. We were talking about our hopes for this game, that we wanted, more open areas, different ways to approach situations,
expanded combat.
Yes,
that's so exciting.
And then they dropped the preview, and it's like they were listening to us, and then they developed it within 12 hours because that's exactly what we're getting. Amicia now has multiple options, lethal and non-lethal, to approach situations. The levels are expanded, so you don't have to go down one path in order to get through the objectives. It's just everything I could ask for, not to mention this is one of those third-person, over-the-shoulder narrative games that PlayStation is always raving about. And yes, this is coming to PlayStation, but to have this day one on Game Pass, these types of games that are missing from the Xbox ecosystem, I don't think people really understand that, like, this could be a very big game.
Yeah, and I love it too, because you're starting off this game with that kid being, I forget the kid's name, but with that kid being able to use the power to control Hugo, to be able to control the rats instead of being an anchor throughout the majority of the game and just being kind of a nuisance. So, we're going to get a full on, Plague Tale game with this, where everybody has their powers. And it seems like, the chick's name, I forget her name too. I can't remember names right now. Amicia, where Amicia is just this absolute juggernaut of a badass, and she has this expanded combat and toolkit. It's just going to be really, really fun.
Yeah, this game looks super cool. I think it was a big upgrade from the first one visually as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it on Game Pass day one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. The first Plague Tale was phenomenal. Looking forward to 2.
Great. If you haven't played the first one, go play it. It's on Game Pass right now, or it's on sale for like $10 all the time.
It's not long either.
It's been given away on everything. PS Plus, Epic Game Store. Yeah, it's like 8 hours long. I'm going to go through the next ones pretty quick. We got the announcement for Forza Motorsport coming spring 2023. Looks beautiful. It's a racing game. I don't really have anything else to say about it. If someone else has more,
we all kind of saw it coming. It does look really good. I mean, I don't think we should understate that. It looks absolutely stunning.
I love the little dig at Gran Turismo 7 where they're like, our ray tracing's in real time. And I was like, guys,
got to throw that in.
Make it more obvious. Like, we know what you're doing here.
Saw the shot and took it. Just saw it and took it.
Easy layup. But we also got Microsoft Flight Simulator 40th Anniversary Edition, which gives you helicopters, gliders, and a Pelican to fly into space.
Cool.
Looks cool. We got Hot Wheels DLC for Forza Horizon 5, which also looks very cool.
Looks awesome.
This one I'm very excited about. I genuinely can't wait to play it. It looks super cool. Like,
and
the
I already
racing tracks, the racing tracks and all of that looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and I already got some of those Hot Wheel cars unlocked from the base game, so I'm definitely going to be using some of those. It's going to be an absolute blast.
It just looks so silly, like the giant Hot Wheels tracks like throughout the sky, which I know is the point, but like it looks silly to me.
Well, kind of a crazy comparison that I'm making in my mind. It reminds me of the racing sort of custom games that you had in Halo Reach, like with Forge, you know, with the crazy loops and stuff like that. That's the only other place where I've had that sort of experience. I didn't play. I know Hot Wheels had a racing game, I think last year or the beginning of this year. I didn't play that.
Hot Wheels Unleashed.
I heard that was good. Maybe I should pick that up, but it'll be fun getting that experience again of driving upside down and all that stuff.
I also heard that was good. I haven't played it, but we got Overwatch 2 free to play October 4th, early access. The beta you can sign up for right now. So if you're interested in Overwatch 2, go play that. Next, we got a cinematic trailer for Era History Untold. I have nothing to say on this.
Civ clone.
Yeah, so, I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait for it. Civ games, absolutely amazing. They helped me get through college and high school.
Give me Civ 7. Yeah, that's all I want.
Yeah,
I don't care about
this. If you're not going to get a Civ 7, I'll gladly take this. Give it to me, Xbox. I'm all for it.
Did you play Humankind?
No, I haven't played Humankind.
Okay, so whenever I saw this trailer during the presentation, I was like, why are they promoting Humankind? Because it's the exact same thing. Like, visually, it is identical. So if you don't want to wait for this new game, let me tell you, it's basically already out.
Yeah,
from what I
they
saw.
just did a big update to that too, I think.
Is Humankind like Civ?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, yeah. Humankind is on PC Game Pass, and I think it's coming
it's on
to
Game
console.
Pass? Oh. Okay.
Yeah. If you have a PC, it's on PC Game Pass, and I think it's coming to console sometime next year, also on Game Pass, confirmed a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, it's the same game. Like I thought that it was literally a trailer for Humankind. It was super weird.
I thought
you know what I'll be talking about next week and what you're playing.
Oh, so. Great! I tried to play it and I didn't enjoy it at all.
I did not either.
I played like an hour. I was like, I'm done with it. Like I'm not liking this game at all. You could, but like the concepts are cool. It's like you can make your own religion and like dictate how people live their life. Listen, man. Okay, I don't play Civ either. All right, I'm trying.
Just go play Stellaris. That's the superior civilization building game, anyways.
All right, we got Elder Scrolls Online DLC and Fallout 76 DLC for anyone that cares. Yeah. We got Arc 2 cinematic trailer with Vin Diesel riding a dinosaur.
Just looks so out of place.
Remember, everyone, dinosaur means family.
Yeah,
every time I see a trailer, it's just like, wow, Turk. Oh, it's Vin Diesel again.
Oh man.
Yeah, like Vin Diesel out of the Fast and Furious franchise doesn't fit in anywhere.
Oh, come on now.
Fits in everywhere. Riddick, he fits in Riddick.
Riddick's really good.
No.
You're tripping, Amon. You're tripping.
You know what else is really good, guys? Scorn.
No.
Yes.
This game's way too fleshy for me.
No, I'm loving the look of this game.
This game is grotesque. Have you guys seen Alana Pierce's tweet on it?
No.
Yes, I have seen.
I can't play it after I saw that.
Oh,
I can't play it after.
I'm gonna tell my kids this was Pornhub, where it's like he's pulling out his intestine or whatever.
This is such an interesting game. I'm definitely gonna try it out, but it's so squishy and fleshy. I don't know.
I think that's why I'm liking it. Like we don't often see horror games. We don't often see horror games like this.
We don't see it because most people don't think of it. Like, I don't know,
it's
man.
Less
play Dead Space if you want fleshy.
No, it's different. This is clearly inspired by like like Alien, Prometheus, those kind of like movies, right?
It's less horror, more disgust.
I think that was my thing where like what director was sitting in a room and they're like, all right, guys, the trailer fades in from black. You have an umbilical cord, and I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. It feels gross, but I'm in.
He's like, what do we do with the umbilical cord? He rips it out of his chest.
There was way too much of taking things out of fleshy things in this trailer. I mean, it happened like 4 times.
A lot of squelchiness. A little squelchy.
I don't know.
Walking on a wet carpet the whole game.
I love all the Saw movies, so I'm in for any bodily horror things going on. I will say it gives me some medium energy. And what I mean by that is like, what are we actually doing? Because it was a lot of like walking slowly. I know you have a gun, but it like looked like it fired really slow. So is this going to be like a barely any gameplay type situation?
I don't know. I can't imagine a game that looks like that is puzzle heavy. You know, like there's got to be some combat.
I think there'll be.
I bet it's not narrative heavy either. Like, what are they going to talk about?
It's just walking through fleshy corridors.
No, I want to see more of it. I guess is what we should be saying.
People with like a grotesque fetish. Yeah.
I think I'm going to put money down and say that like there is limited narrative. There is also limited gameplay. It's basically like the medium in first person with more bodily fluids. Like that's literally what I think this game's going to be.
It's for people who like who want to admire that grotesque environment.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's admiring it. It looks gross.
I mean, why else would you play it?
That game comes out October 21st, was it? I want to say.
I couldn't tell you.
28th, 21st?
I thought it was the 21st. Because I remember it being the same as the other game that we're going to talk
October
about.
21st, you are correct.
Yes. Speaking of games that I thought looked awesome, Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. This game looked really sweet. It was the third-person action adventure RPG. She had an axe, some weird little like critter that she could jump through triangles. I thought this game looked awesome. On rewatching the trailers, I've noticed there is a distinct lack of blood. Like she's hacking people with this axe and nothing comes out of them. So I'm just like, I don't know if they did that for this trailer or if that's like they don't have the budget to put in like blood. But it is like a little weird to like see like an axe go into someone and they're just like, I'm dead now.
I mean, it looked a little interesting. Honestly, I didn't know anything about it. I think they released a teaser not that long ago, and but no gameplay and stuff like that. And I've been thinking about it, and I didn't expect what I saw. That's for sure, with the name Flintlock. But I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I had never heard of it before, but it looks super good.
Yeah,
it looked pretty good. It reminded me of Forspoken. It had a similar vibe to Forspoken. The environment, the like the camera angles and all that. So yeah. Looks pretty cool. I think I still need to see a little bit more, and then it's on Game Pass, so definitely check it out.
All right, guys, we're going to talk about the abomination that is Minecraft Legends. If you ever, I don't know who's asking for more Minecraft. If you could stop it, please.
Minecraft Legends looked really cool. Like I have to say, Minecraft was literally my childhood. I remember me and my friends, like back in middle school, used to go to the computer labs during our break and play Minecraft. All right. So I have some very fond memories with Minecraft. Garrett and I played Minecraft Dungeons for a long time, and I had a blast. So yes, I'm looking forward to this game. Give me more Minecraft. I'm all for it.
I don't know. I mean, I'm also a fan of Minecraft. I played Minecraft Dungeons. Those excited me, but I don't know. This trailer just didn't do it for me. I didn't really quite understand the theme they were trying to go with here. Yeah, I don't see a need for it.
To see more.
Yeah, I think we need to see a lot more of what's going on with this.
A little bit more, and then.
Yeah, but I'm definitely not sold on this. I actually wrote this down as one of the flops.
I'm all for it.
I know, but I wrote this down as one of the flops for this showcase for sure.
Minecraft can never be a flop. Never.
That's not true.
That is true. That's facts, bro. Like, that's facts. It's gonna bring them money, and it's gonna be really good.
It will bring the money.
Yeah, it will.
And it will be very good.
The interesting thing about this game is that it's an action strategy game, and the closest thing I could think of, which you guys won't understand, is Kingdom Under Fire. It's an old Xbox 360 game where you command troops from an overview, but you then can dive into a specific battle as your character, and then it becomes like Dynasty Warriors. So it has a real-time strategy element, but then an action combat. That's kind of what this game
seems
is
a little
like.
more intriguing to me than what I saw.
That's my feeling for this. What's going on?
I told you, it's Minecraft. It can't.
I still want to see more. I'm not sold yet.
Oh yeah, no, the combat sounds great, but the fact that it's Minecraft and I refuse to look at those block-headed characters, and I can't do it.
But now they're blocks
Grow up,
and they're
Kevin.
cell shaded.
Cell shaded
blocks, just what I've always needed. Moving on, we got Lightyear Frontier. I have nothing to say on Lightyear Frontier. This was the game watering gardens and mech suits.
Yeah,
it's like a Tom game.
Oh, that's a good call. It is a Tom game.
I don't even remember anything. So
we got Gunfire Reborn. This is that roguelike where you play as the cute animals shooting people. Looked fun, but you lost me at roguelite.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same.
I don't recall this one, so continue.
That's okay.
Yeah.
The Last Case of Benedict Fox. I think some people on the panel are looking forward to this one.
It looked interesting.
Definitely.
And, Phil Spencer even tweeted saying this is one of the special ones from the showcase that he was excited about. I thought that was a cool shout out for that dev team, but looked pretty interesting. Again, I want to see more of it before I commit, but I love those kind of detective type games.
Yeah, I really like this one. I think this was my favorite indie reveal of the show. The whole vibe of the game, the dark fantasy detective type of things, the noir-esque feeling. Loved it. Can't wait to see more. And it's on the Game Pass, so why not give it a shot?
This one did nothing for me. I kind of got like Ori vibes. It's obviously like a 2D Metroidvania platformer.
Mm-hmm.
But this is more
really
like
for me.
This is more like detective narrative driven, I guess, right?
I don't know. We'll have to see. It looked like a lot of gameplay, but it's not doing it for me. I understand everyone else seems to be excited about it, but no, I don't have anything to add. I'm sure it'll be good. It looked good, but it's just not my type of game.
This is a Game Pass backlog game for me, where like I'll install it, it'll sit there for 4 months, and then a random Sunday evening I'll be like, oh, okay, sure, why not?
Yeah, I'll try this one. The next game we're going to talk about is probably the game that appeals to me the least, and that is As Dusk Falls.
Not at all.
I've seen you fall into two camps from my conversations with other content creators and people in the space. You either love the art style and you're like totally sold on this game because you want like a narrative story like Life is Strange, or you are like, this game looks terrible because of that stop stutter art style they got going on, and I fall into that camp.
So yeah, this game actually reminded me a lot of a really fun game that I played on PC called Road 96, which was kind of this narrative story-driven game where you're just kind of this kid trying to escape this country, and you're just hitchhiking and taking the road, and you have to make decisions and stuff like that, and had kind of the same aesthetic as that. But yeah, this art style, I do not dig it. Usually I don't say I'm not going to buy a game because of a graphic or because of an art style. This is one of those cases where it's just, I just don't dig this. But, in terms of gameplay, I'm sure people that can stand that art style, they're going to actually really like it. So
I think it looks really good. The way that I described it to somebody that I was talking to, I was like, this feels like Big Boy Telltale. Like this is like a really mature kind of like, if you're comparing it to like comic books, this is like a manga book. You know what I mean? Like this is like a step up, like an elite kind of thing from what I've seen. So I'll definitely play it. I think it's very interesting, and I like those narratives. The older I've gotten, the more that I've enjoyed games that are kind of like you push a button and you just keep that story going. This is a good evening cup of coffee on the couch kind of game.
Yeah. See, I don't really have a major problem with the art style. I do think it looks a little weird, but it's something I can definitely get used to and sit through. But for me, the main thing is the length of the game. If it's like a 20-hour game, probably not going to check it out. But if it's more of like a 5 to 10 hour short and sweet, narrative-driven game, then I'll probably give it a try.
I imagine it'll be the latter there, Amon. That it'll be a tighter experience. Those narrative games tend to be around that length, I would say.
if it's on Game Pass, I'll definitely at least give it a shot.
It is on Game Pass.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could just be I've never seen a game like this with this sort of specific art style and it's turning me off. But, if I get into it and I like it, I'll try it. I'm up for new experiences. So we'll see.
Yeah, I can't say if it's good or bad just yet, but it's definitely unique. And yeah, I'll probably give it a try just to see how it is.
Absolutely. Next up, we have Naraka Blade Point, a battle royale slasher.
Is this the one you said kind of reminded you of Origami, or am I thinking of a different one?
No, that's a different
That was something
game
at Summer Games Fest.
No, it's in this showcase, but that's a different game.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this is a battle royale that's been out on PC for a while, I believe, maybe PlayStation. But you choose like a samurai or ninja class. You fight up 60 other people.
Right.
It's getting a campaign that's going into Game Pass. That's like brand new content. So
it's like a For Honor type game.
Yeah, this ain't for me. I'm not a battle royale guy. So
I am a battle royale guy, so I might check it out. But I'm not. It's not something that's hooked me in, and I'm definitely looking forward to. But it's on Game Pass, so I might check it out and try it out because I like battle royales in general. So yeah, we'll see.
I remember when this one dropped, and I was like, "All right, sure, I'll give it a shot." And that's exactly where I am today. Like, I'll check it out. Sure, why not? Like you guys said, it's on Game Pass, so I'll dive in, give it a couple hours.
Okay. Next, we have Pentiment, Obsidian's big project, and I gotta say, this might have been my most disappointing announcement of the showcase because when I've been looking forward to finally seeing what this game was. Yeah. And then they open up that book and I did not like the art style in the slightest. I was like, this is really off-putting to me. I do want to keep some faith because Josh Sawyer made the game. He has written amazing stories. This game could be phenomenal. So I'm not completely dismissing it yet, but gotta say initial impressions weren't that positive.
Yeah, I mean, it is an Obsidian project, so I'm gonna try it out. Obsidian's probably tied with BioWare as my favorite developers, so I have to try and play it because I'll play anything from Obsidian. But when I saw that Obsidian logo, I got really excited, and that excitement went away really fast when I saw this. But it looks like a small offshoot dev team. It looks like a small little game. If it's on Game Pass, like we keep saying during this show, gonna try it out. We'll see.
This was probably one of my favorite announcements of the day.
Really?
I knew exactly what to expect from Pentiment because when Jess Gordon first leaked Pentiment, he leaked artwork of it. So I knew exactly what to expect. I'm really excited for this because it's not what we expected. But guys, come on, this is Josh Sawyer. He's never had a bad game in my opinion. He's a phenomenal storyteller, and I'm automatically excited as someone who did a minor in European history. This looks very familiar. I spent 4 years studying Reformation era Baroque art, and it's cool to see it in a video game. So yeah, take my money, Microsoft.
Yeah, and that art style, it reminds me of that weird game that I was talking about during the live react, and I couldn't figure it out, but it's called The Procession to Cavalry, which is sort of a comedy game set in that medieval art style. It's kind of on that same line, and I have yet to play that, so I might play that actually after the stream just to check it out.
Yeah, I mean, like the Reformation era, the Baroque art. I've spent a lot of time studying it, and I mean, it's probably just something that personally appeals to me because I've spent so much time in that medium, and it's cool to see it in a video game.
I just wonder, like, you take a tour of Obsidian and they're like, hey, we got these games we're working on. Here's Avowed. Here's Pentiment. And then we got Grounded. And you're like, I'm sorry, what? Like, I just got whiplash looking down this hallway.
This dev team's nuts.
Yeah, but like, good for them for, it's good to see variety. I think that so often teams can get pigeonholed into working on specific types of projects to the point that they can't actually experiment with anything, and then you get stagnation, and then you end up with Call of Duty to the point like that's not good for anyone. So I'd rather a Pentiment come out. It might not appeal to me, but Amon's all over it. Like being able to have that diversity in your lineup. Like I love Avowed. Like I cannot wait to play that game. Grounded wasn't for me, but I know that game's popular. So you have at it, you have fun. Like that's kind of my approach on it.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because Obsidian especially has been outspoken about how much freedom they get and how supportive Microsoft is of them. I've heard multiple developers over on Iron Lords, or on Twitter, just come into their defense like anyone saying like Microsoft doesn't let us, like we get to do whatever we want. And this is like clearly proof of that, because I'm sure if you go pitch to other like if you were a AAA publisher and you're like, listen, I got this idea, I want to take like 6 people, we're gonna make this little artsy book detective story. They're gonna be like,
you're pitching this to EA or Take Two.
Yeah.
It's never happening.
Where are the microtransactions though, you know?
Exactly.
Like so it's cool.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite part about Obsidian. You know, like I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a ton of more games like this. You know, you have the AAA game in Avowed, and then you have this small indie team of 5 people who've always wanted to make this passion project of theirs, and they can do that now, and that's amazing. And I think Obsidian is Xbox's best studio so right now. So yeah.
I'd agree.
Well, I mean, you see Hello Games pump out Joe Danger, and then they're like, "Hey, we're making No Man's Sky," and everybody's like, "Wait, what? I'm sorry, you just made an iPhone game, bro. What are you talking about?" Fun. Yeah, and then you see Elder Scrolls or Bethesda just ripping it off. No, I'm just kidding, but yeah. So good to see them experimenting and continuing to push forward.
Yeah.
Grounded getting its 1.0 release in September. Cool. Very excited for those Grounded players.
Cool. Co-op. I'm definitely getting onto it.
It's only been out for 2 years.
Yeah, had no time to try it out. You know, brand new game. Next one we're gonna talk about is Erebon Shadow Legacy. I thought this game looked sweet. This is the game that reminds me of Origami, where you're playing as like that female ninja who's like going in the shadows and killing robots. More stealth games. Give it to me, inject them into my veins. We need more of them in the genre or the space, especially because Splinter Cell's been sleeping for the last decade.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I loved Origami, so play this.
Sleeper Cell.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I got it.
Reminds me of old school Assassin's Creed. This one. That's kind of what it triggered for me, is being able to go like not the Valhalla or the Origins or anything like that, but like the original where you're Altair, you move at 3 miles an hour and you just like, you know, stealthily drop down and stab people in the neck. That was what I liked. Yeah, back in the day. So.
Okay. Next we got. I'm gonna skip the Sea of Thieves announcement. There's an update. You can go. You know, it's nothing big. Diablo 4. We got the Necromancer reveal. He's going to be in the base game, or she's going to be in the base game, depending on what gender you pick. They showed off the gameplay. They showed off the open world, new like world events with other players. Kind of changes the camera angle. I thought Diablo 4 looked great. I'm a huge Diablo fan. I've been playing since Diablo 1. I'm super excited. The fact that we're getting it in the next 12 months is really awesome. I cannot wait. I don't know whether, obviously they didn't say Game Pass right now because the acquisition hasn't gone through. Maybe the acquisition is done and then it's on Game Pass when it launches. That remains to be seen. Either way, I'm super excited for this game. I can't wait to get back in there with my friends and just destroy everything. It's just a good time. Like, I tried out Lost Ark because I wanted to fill that action RPG itch, and that game was so disappointing in comparison to Diablo.
Yeah, this is going to be a badass game. I'm super excited. I'm super excited to get Necromancer at the base game. You know, I don't know if it was the way they presented it or something, but like this didn't feel as hype as it should have been. Like I wasn't as excited as I feel like I should have been during this. Like I said, I don't know if that's the way they presented it or if it was just, you know, I knew enough about it before they announced it and saw it coming. But, you know, I'm still really stoked for it. You could just show the logo and you already sold me.
Yeah, I mean, I think the announcement was not the best, but I'm really excited for this one. I've never really been invested a crazy amount into a Diablo game, and I've always wanted to, but I've never found the time to. And what better way to start with, you know, Diablo 4? So I can't wait. So hopefully, you know, by the time the game comes out, the Microsoft Blizzard deal goes through, and it's on Game Pass. So yeah, looking forward to this one.
What better way to start than with Diablo Immortal? No, I'm just kidding.
$110,000 later, you could be swimming in Diablo Immortal.
Exactly. But I agree. I think Diablo 4, it was weird the way they went. And they said, hey, Necromancer day one. Anyway, here's this trailer of gameplay. Like it felt like it should have been reversed to where the one last thing should have been Necromancer. But yeah, they could have opened with like a you know, fade to black, huge splash screen of some hellscape, and then 2 steps from hell, and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, let's go. but it could have been presented a little better. Super looking forward to it though. Game Pass, not Game Pass. Still gonna buy it day one.
Oh yeah.
Girlfriend would make me anyway. So like, hey, either way, sure.
Yeah, that was interesting because I remember watching the necromancer walk up, and at first I thought it was State of Decay because I thought it was that rabid like whatever animal we saw eaten, but then it was like, oh, it's a necromancer, and I was like, it's Diablo, but then they kind of lingered on it. I was like, is this actually Diablo? Is this like a necromancer?
The
game?
Minute they did that camera angle where it was looking down at the necromancer, I said it's Diablo 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was kind of on the nose.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Next is a game I think has gone kind of under the radar, and that's Ravenlock from Coco Cucumber, the team that brought you Echo Generation. This game looks super colorful, super cute. I'm here for it. It's like an action game. She's going to be, Echo Generation, I think, was turn-based, if I remember correctly, but this seems real time. I'm in for it. This game looks so adorable to me.
Yeah, I love this this is the one that had that kind of like pixelated art style, right?
Yes,
yeah.
The enemies are kind of a little pixelated off the side. And
this game just looks so colorful, and it looks like it's just going to be a blast to jump in and immerse yourself in that world and just take in all the visuals. I'm really excited for this.
Oh yeah, I'm loving this. I love the reveal of this. I wasn't really hyped when I first saw it, but then after when I went and rewatched all the trailers, this one really stood out to me. I really like the character designs, the enemy designs, and all of that. So yeah. Definitely got to pick it up on Game Pass.
I might check it out. Not really my cup of tea. I wasn't a big Echo Generation guy, but yeah, more power to them. Glad to see them doing. I like weird stuff. Like even if I don't personally like it, I like the fact that it's there. So like put it out there, make it happen.
Next, we got Cocoon from the people that brought you Limbo and Inside. I don't like either of those other games. They weren't for me.
I love Limbo, and this looked really cool. I actually really liked how this looked with the orbs and transporting into different worlds and stuff like that. The puzzles looked like they're unique and fun. I'm pretty stoked on. I'm pretty high on this for sure.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that for me, this is like a combination of if Inside had a child with Monument Valley. Like there's a lot more deliberate puzzle solving. Yeah. Versus the environmental left to right side scrolling kind of stuff than what we've seen before. Yeah. But also, by the way, if you haven't played Far Changing Tides, Ethan, you probably enjoyed it.
Yes, I have played it, and I really liked it.
Yeah, very good game. Very good.
Very good game. I can't wait to get stuck on puzzles in this game for a half hour and look it up on Google. It's going to be great.
Same. Yeah, puzzle games aren't really my thing. This game didn't really appeal to me either. It's just not my cup of tea. I need like constant engagement.
I'm sure it'll be critically acclaimed because
definitely.
They just love it. Like
picking this for Fantasy Critic. Let's go
next year. Next year. Let's hope you pick better than you did this year. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Babylon's Fall over there.
That's enough out of you.
All right, guys, we're coming to the climax of the show where things really went off the rails. So we got the announcement of Team Ninja's new Wolong Fallen Dynasty. Who are they working? It's Team Ninja and who else? I can't remember the other team.
I only remember Team Ninja.
Oh my god, why can't I remember? It's
because they're the Dynasty Warriors.
Koei Tecmo. Yeah, Koei Tecmo. We got a cinematic trailer. We have got some details after the fact that this is going to be a Souls-like game. So I am automatically out because not for me. That's unfortunate. I was kind of hoping it'd be more like a Dynasty Warriors game, but I thought the trailer was awesome. It looked sweet. The ancient like Chinese stuff going on. So
I mean, I love Souls type games and I love Dynasty Warriors games, and that it's just what you said. This is just going to be a Dynasty Warriors Souls like game, and I'm super pumped for it. I didn't see this coming. I didn't know anything about it before the showcase, and I'm really excited to see some gameplay from this and actually get hands on it.
I know the trailer looked a little cool, but like it just felt very generic to me. That nothing made it stand out or made it unique from other.
It looks exactly like other Dynasty Warriors games, honestly. Yeah, like we saw a couple characters. The last one was obviously Lu Bu who's like a big part of all the Dynasty Warriors games, and he's in every game wearing the same outfit. But there's a big fan base for that love these same games over and over again. I'm one of them.
But yeah, it just there had to be something unique to really appeal to me. It just felt very generic. But yeah, that's my take on it.
'Tis on Game Pass, so I will be there. Otherwise, would not know it's existing.
Yeah, same here.
I will say, Amon, it has Masaki Yamagiwa, who worked on Neo and Bloodborne, and Fumihiko Yasuda worked on Neo.
So cool.
It's got some pretty good.
I like
pretty
Neo.
names backing
I like
it.
Neo and Bloodborne, so probably that's cool. Yeah,
could be for you. Not for me though. I don't like being miserable.
Could be for you, not for me.
You'll play Elden Ring one day, Kevin. We'll get you to do it. Come on now.
No, I won't. No. Next, we got the best announcements of the showcase. If you haven't seen my reaction, it's over on Twitter. You can go make fun of me. Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royal are coming to Xbox, coming to Game Pass. We also learned after the fact the games not on PlayStation are coming to PlayStation. They're also coming to Steam. No Switch announcement as of yet, which I find incredibly interesting. Some people say they're saving it for their own showcase, which would be weird to see the same trailer, but like Switch instead. I popped off super hard. Obviously, I'm super excited for this game. I platinum Persona 5 Royal. I played Persona 4 Golden on Steam. I cannot wait to finally play Persona 3, and then I'm going to 100% 4, and I'm going to 100% 5 all over again. So looking forward to Persona, to say the least.
Yeah, I can't tell you how excited I am for this because I have never played any of these games before. And, for years, even when I was in the Navy, when I wasn't even playing video games, people wouldn't shut up about Persona. I have heard it from everybody how good these games are, and I finally get to get my hands on it. I hope it doesn't disappoint. But, universal praise. I don't think I've met anybody or talked to a single person that said they didn't like Persona, at least a little bit. It's either you love it or you like it.
Well, lucky for you, Ethan. It combines your favorite thing.
Definitely.
Turn-based and giving people or spending time with people.
I can handle turn-based if it's done right. It's just, it's not for every game. Come on.
Yeah, I was super hyped about this announcement because there was not really a way for me to play Persona 3 or Persona 4. With that said, I'm probably going to check these out on PlayStation because that's where I play Persona 5, and I have this weird OCD where I have to play all the same type of games on one console. So, it just the weird OCD thing.
Yeah, Yakuza Persona has always been kind of like Yakuza for me, where I haven't really gotten into them in a big way. So I think these three coming gradually to Game Pass will give me an opportunity to kind of check it out, dip my toe in the water, and see if I like it. But yeah, super excited to just see it come out of the PlayStation exclusivity in general and become more readily available for people outside of that ecosystem.
Question for the panel: do we think that this means Persona 6 will launch day and date onto Xbox? No more PlayStation exclusivity. You think we're kind of moving out of that era?
I think so.
Yes, definitely.
It makes sense. I don't see why you would, unless they do a timed exclusive deal with PlayStation, obviously, because Atlas has a really good working relationship with Sony. So it wouldn't surprise me if they do a sort of timed exclusive deal where it's like, okay, in a year we'll put it on Xbox. But going forward, I think this will be on Xbox, going forward.
I think that if you look at, like, I'm keeping up on Twitter with the Final Fantasy stream that's going on right now, where you see Final Fantasy 7. Still, what?
No, don't spoil it. I haven't watched it yet.
Can we not talk about it at all, or no?
Is it going to spoil an announcement?
Anyways, let's just say I think that Sony will comfortably continue paying for exclusivity where it makes sense if Persona is on that level of Final Fantasy.
Oh no!
Womp womp boom wow.
Okay, all right. My expectations are now set accordingly. I think.
Listen. I'm not saying it's staying on PlayStation, so you still have a surprise that could or could not be waiting for you. Who knows? It's coming to Ouya.
Coming to Google Stadia.
Yeah.
Exclusively.
And can I just say, this tied with Hideo Kojima showing up and them showcasing that partnership. It's really cool to see Xbox pushing into Japan more. You know, I love to see it. Oh, I didn't know you were going over it because it's not a game announcement.
I was just about to say, and Xbox continues their push into Japanese markets by
I announced it for you, Kevin.
Announcing their collaboration with Hideo Kojima, whose games I don't personally enjoy, but I can't not recognize that this is huge for the Japanese market. I find it hard to believe that other Japanese developers aren't looking and be like, okay, they got Atlas working with them. Okay, they got Hideo working with them. Like, maybe we should go work with Xbox. Like, it's just impossible to me that they're like ignoring the fact that Xbox is making these strides, like giving them Game Pass money to get their games on the platform. They've already worked with Sega. Like, they're making inroads into the Japanese market.
It's wonderful. It's good to see.
Definitely. This announcement had me hyped. Like, I love Hideo Kojima. I love his games. And yeah, if the rumor is true and Overdose is on Xbox, amazing. Horror games and Hideo Kojima fit in perfectly together.
And I think just to showcase how powerful of a move this was, I mean, Hideo Kojima didn't even announce a game. Like, we didn't see anything. It was just him showing up and saying, yeah, I'm working with you guys now. I mean, that just shows how big of a get this is, that they were willing to just throw him up there and say, hey, say something to the fans.
Yeah. Does this mean the game is like really far out? Because we didn't get anything.
100%.
Yeah.
This is the one thing that broke their 12-month rule.
Yeah. This 100%. This is in my mind a 2026 at the earliest.
I'm with you.
Yeah, like,
well, I guess he'll probably release Death Stranding 2 and Overdose before this game then. So I don't know. We'll see.
Is Death Stranding 2 like confirmed to be well, I guess because Norman Reedus has said he's working on stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he tweeted it out. Sick.
Yeah, Kojima tweeted it, I think. I'm not sure.
No, he just told Norman to, and Norman's words were, I'm working on the second one. He didn't say Death Stranding 2. So like, it could be Overdose is kind of like a successor to Death Stranding 2, and Norman isn't like, he's not a gamer. He doesn't really like, he's just showing up to work, you know? He's not really concerned with the ins and outs of it.
Overdose, from what I was seeing from the leaks, is supposed to be a horror title. Kojima's new horror title. I don't know if that's going to be the Xbox title or if that's another PlayStation exclusive, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to get more info on it.
Yeah, Tom Henderson said it's a sort of drug-related horror game.
That makes sense if it ties into Death Stranding, because you got to be on drugs to imagine that stuff, because that's just wild, dude.
Kojima is creative, to say the least.
I mean, I appreciate Death Stranding for what it is. Like, I always dismissed it off as a walking simulator at first, but when I really got to play it, it's something. It's something special.
It's not a walking simulator. It's a UPS simulator.
Very dangerous, deadly UPS simulator.
In a world where gas is so expensive, the Amazon guy has to walk. Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding.
That's a good one. Before we get to the finale, I'm going to just run down the 3 announcements that were from the Extended Showcase. We got the first gameplay reveal of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, with the reveal that it will be day 1 into Xbox Game Pass. We also got Valheim coming to PC Game Pass this year, and it's being ported to Xbox for next year. And then finally, Master Chiefs and Fall Guys. So I care about Master Chief and Fall Guys. It's going free to play next week. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I love horror games. It being in Game Pass, and it's different than Friday the 13th, Dead by Daylight. It keeps the keeps the asynchramatic team versus team, but I don't know how I feel about the gameplay they showed. It looked a little like you're okay. I don't know if anybody else watched it, but it didn't really give me much confidence.
Yeah. For Valheim, real quick, if we could touch on that. I mean, Sam was talking about earlier how, Xbox is trying to increase that value of PC Game Pass. I mean, this is definitely it. And, if we see this cycle now of these small indie Steam games going up and then popping off, and then Xbox goes in and just grabs them, off of that market, I mean, that's a really good, idea for success right there, is, because there's always those little games like Valheim. I mean, Minecraft started off that way, where it's just these tiny little indie dev teams, maybe one person making these games, throw it up on Steam for $5, and all of a sudden the next day they got 3 million players concurrently or something ridiculous like that. And if Xbox can continue just to find those gems, grab them real quick and put it in the ecosystem, I mean, PC Game Pass can be a very viable option for PC gamers.
100%. I also want to say, like, Vampire Survivors is one that I've been playing on PC a little bit, and it's like little $5, super simple, like you just move things around. But it's like, this is, if you blend that with big AAA like Halo Infinite stuff, like immediately whenever you have like Halo Infinite coming out, and then you have these little indie games, you blend the AAA and the indie, and you bring value no matter where you play, and then you break or you bake in these Riot Games, partnerships and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's everything you need. That's what they need to go for, and I think they're doing a good job with it.
Awesome.
Ethan, you're I think your mic might have just switched to a different mic because we just heard like someone fly down the road, and now you.
Oh yeah, that was somebody driving a V6 Mustang with their muffler sawed off, because people love doing that in Texas. It's so annoying. Trust me, I live right next to a highway. You can't do anything about it.
Okay, all right. No, I think they're all good gets. They're all little content you can add. Texas Chainsaw might be a big game. Fall Guys, obviously, you want to promote the new free-to-play, cross-play game that's coming to your platform next week. Give people a reason to choose, like, hey, it's free-to-play. Why do you want to choose there? Well, get Master Chief skin, even though it's probably on all the platforms, because PlayStation has a bunch of skins, and I can get them on, like, PC. So, and it is cross-progression. So, like, I can bring my my Horizon skins over to Xbox, so there's no real issues there, but it is a little promotion for your platform. But enough about that, guys. We're running a little long, but I want to talk about our finale here. Starfield, we finally got a deep dive 15-minute gameplay trailer. Todd Howard talking to us about it. Now that you've had time to sit on it, what are your overall feelings about Starfield? I'm gonna start with Sam first. What are you feeling?
I think it has potential to be really good. I'm not one that thinks it's going to be like, the next mind-blowing 20-year record-setting benchmark of gaming. I don't think it's going to be that. I don't think it needs to be that. But what I wanted to be, after seeing that gameplay and having expectations set, is a combination of No Man's Sky, of Elite Dangerous, and like maybe a little bit of Star Wars Squadrons with some tight action, like space shooting in there. But I think that what Starfield really hinges on is the story. Like, the narrative needs to be really well done, because otherwise, what is there to set it apart from a No Man's Sky or Elite Dangerous? Like, it has to differentiate itself. And I think Bethesda has the chops to deliver a narrative that makes that happen.
Ethan, you want to follow up?
Yeah, so I've watched this trailer over probably 4 or 5 times now on both my TV, my phone. Just every once in a while I pop it on and I watch it. Bethesda is a very, very, very special development team in my heart. My first Xbox game was Oblivion. My favorite video game of all time is Oblivion. And I've played every Bethesda game since with joy, except for their MMOs, but that's completely different. Yeah, I got everything that I wanted out of this gameplay. My biggest worry going into this was that they were showing it too early, because we're pretty much a year out still. I didn't want another 343 Halo Infinite issue on our hands where things looked out of place and ridiculous and they got flamed for it. And, in my mind, that value went down. But luckily, this just got me more hyped than ever for this game. I mean, it just looks amazing. The gunplay looks way better than anything Bethesda's ever put out before. You think of gunplay in Fallout, you think of like stiff, gunplay. That's why they needed VATS, just because, the first person shooting in real time wasn't necessarily the best in Fallout. This looks tight. It looks good. And, like Sam was saying, the storytelling for Bethesda, that's really what sells you on these games. When Todd Howard says, we want you to go into these worlds and make your own story, that's what they specialize in. And I think this has a lot of potential to do a lot of amazing things. And I'm really, really excited to jump into this. I've been waiting for a very, very long time. Got to wait a little longer, but I think it's going to be worth the wait. And also ship customization. Didn't even think of that. That's something I'm really stoked about. Customizing the interior and stuff. I will say, though, the couple things that I want to hit on that kind of worried me is, one, there is an inordinate amount of things that are very No Man's Sky-like. I mean, it's kind of on the nose ridiculous how similar some of the things they highlighted were to No Man's Sky. Is that necessarily a bad thing? No, because I think No Man's Sky is an incredible game. You know, I think it has a bad reputation because of its launch. It's really turned around, and it's a really fun game to play right now. And then the other thing that worries me is the 1,000 planets. Now, I'm not worried about because it's procedurally generated, because that's used in every Bethesda game and every open world game you can think of is procedural generation. That's just a thing. Skyrim has a lot of procedural generation, and that game looks beautiful and handcrafted. I'm not worried about that. I think they're going to do a good job. I'm just hoping we don't have another situation like Mass Effect 1, where, you know, they say you can go to all these different planets, and in Mass Effect 1, you just drop down in the Mako and you're just on this dead, barren planet with nothing to do. Now, the thing is with Bethesda is they're very good at making random world events happen. We'll see if they add dungeons to all these planets. I don't know if they're even going to have dungeons in this game. We didn't really see any of that. But I don't want 500 of those 1,000 planets to be nothing but, you know, resource barrels for me to go to and gather rocks and stuff. That's what I'm worried about. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they understand that would be a really bad look on their part because they are hyping this 1,000 planet thing so much. So I hope that's not the case. But right now, that's my biggest worry, and I hope they will explain that system a little further moving forward.
So I understand your worries, and I think to a certain extent I share some of them as well. I'm not particularly worried about the planets and the numbers because you don't have to go to every 1,000 planets.
Right.
You don't. Nobody's making you. My hope is that they are more of, you know, little dungeons. Maybe the planets are the dungeons. Maybe you go there and that's what you're doing. I think this game gave me everything I wanted it to give me. And stuff I didn't know, like ship customization. Like I'm all in for that. I think it looks great. Looks like a step up from Bethesda's old games, especially with the facial animations. They've clearly been working on this. I can understand why it was delayed, though, looking at this trailer, because there are noticeable frame rate drops. Mm-hmm. There are resolution issues. There's a lot of things, technical issues that need to be addressed. And I think that is what the delay is for. Bug fixing, getting it to run 60 frames per second, because sometimes in those trailers, I was like, is this running anywhere near 60? Because it doesn't look like 60. So for me, just give me a great narrative. Right there with Sam and you know, that's really going to determine how long I put into this game. Todd Howard said it's 30 to 40 hours, depending. That's really what we need from it. So I'm excited. But yeah, I imagine at some point we get a deep dive into the narrative. We find out why what we're doing for, and like, why do I care about what each faction? We're gonna need more information.
Yeah.
But in terms of gameplay, like I'm sold. Like concept wise, it's everything I wanted it to be.
Yeah, and you know, the dev team has been doing a really good job of putting out these, you know, dev interviews on their YouTube channel. I don't know, everybody who's interested in this game, I advise that you guys go to their YouTube channel. Starfield has their own YouTube channel where they throw up dev interviews with Todd Howard, some of the other environmental designers and stuff like that, where they go over environments, they go over factions, they go over different mechanics and stuff like that. And I'm sure throughout the next year, we're going to see a lot more of that. That's going to reveal a lot more information. And then obviously, I think we're going to see some really big showcase at the Game Awards this year coming up in December. So really excited to see more of this game.
Spam591 in the chat, who shout out Sam, thanks for stopping by, says Starfield looks like a Bethesda game. We're all going to play it, all going to enjoy it, but it's seemingly not going to be the mind-blowing BGS title people have anticipated. Okay, but keep expectations in
this
check.
Isn't Elder Scrolls 6. You know, that's the one that's going to blow everyone away. But I think this is a good little midterm project for them.
Aman, you want to wrap it up here? Thoughts on Starfield?
Yes. So Starfield, I have to say Bethesda really improved, like their animations, facial animations, visuals, amazing.
Yes.
I don't think we'll get more of that janky sidewalking bit. But I have to say I was underwhelmed a tad bit by Starfield. I don't know what was missing, but something just felt off. It looked a lot like No Man's Sky, and I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe not too good, especially after IGN did that comparison. I can't unsee it. Sure, it's probably on a much larger scale. they probably have a lot more stuff
His
to do.
internet is
I just have a
murdering
bad feeling
his
in my
voice
gut
right
about.
now.
I can't just judge the game. Can you not hear me?
We can. You just keep cutting out and then going all robot-y. So shout out to college dorm internet, especially in the UK.
Sure. Okay. But yeah, should I repeat what I said?
No, we got you. We got you.
Yeah.
It'll come through
Okay.
eventually.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I just can't see the comparisons IGN made. Sure, it's on a larger scale and all that, but yeah, I just can't judge it yet. I have to see more. The overall foundation looks very, very similar to No Man's Sky, and that's very worrying for me, and did leave a sour taste in my mouth. And I hope it's not like No Man's Sky. I did like No Man's Sky, and I don't think this game is going to have the impact Skyrim had on the gaming world. This is going to be nowhere close to that, in my opinion.
I understand they showed the parts that look like No Man's Sky, but No Man's Sky isn't a narrative RPG. Like, there's going to be so many more elements that Bethesda's going to have than
as I said, it's on a much larger scale, but I just don't think it's going to have the impact people anticipated to have. Like how Spam said, I thought this was going to be the next Skyrim. Like, do you guys remember the impact Skyrim had back in 2013? It was massive. It was blowing up. Everyone was talking about it. Starfield, I don't think so. It just looks like something we've already seen before, and something felt missing. It just didn't have that big impact that I wanted it to have. So I was a little underwhelmed by it.
Fair. Any closing comments on Starfield before we wrap up the show, guys? Seems like it. No, you're muted. Sam.
I bet there are going to be 10 robust, actually handcrafted planets in this game. That's like my actual expectation is that they're going to be, and I'm talking like big, these are big places you can go. Like, you got a big ass, world to dig through, but like 990 of these 1,000 are going to be, and I mean, Todd Howard said it in the IGN interview where he's like, most of these, I don't think he said most, so I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but he said some of these are going to be where you land, spend 10 minutes there and leave. And I think that's going to be 90% of this procedural generated experience.
Yeah.
It's fine with me. I went to all the Mass Effect 1 planets. I'm used to it.
I did too. I did it like 5 times. It's a slog.
I've done it. I scanned every planet in 2. I don't even care. Like, ones that didn't have anything. I went to every planet by planet. I'll do it again. 100 ain't that bad, all right? You knock out 10 a day, you're good.
1,000, Kevin.
It's not that many. Alpaca Tom's in the chat says, if it's 10 big boys, I'm okay with that. They used a lot of procedural generation in other games, so we'll see how much it improved. Absolutely. Well, guys, that is it for our show this week. There's been no other news going on this week, so sorry if it wasn't the most exciting thing. But guys, before we go, I want you to drop your plugs. So Sam, thank you so much for stopping by, coming on. Had a good time chatting with you. You're obviously welcome back anytime that you want to come back. But could you let anyone know where to find your stuff once again?
Yeah, sure. You can find me anywhere at JampackSam. I'm on YouTube, Twitter. I have a Twitch. Don't use it. TikTok, all the good stuff. You can find me everywhere. But yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. It's been great to meet you all in person and to chat some Xbox Game Showcase. Always a good time. Key 3 once again back in action. Love to see it.
Awesome. Everyone, make sure to go follow him. His YouTube and Twitter are in the description of this video, so go get that. Ethan, where can people find you?
You can find me at WhiteCedar1 on Twitter and Gravy3448 on Xbox.
Amon, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Amon_M05.
And you can find me at the Muffin Mon. It's a 1 and 7 I and O and 7A. Follow us at Project XTalk to stay up to date with all of our latest. We have some announcements coming very soon in the next couple of weeks. You're not going to want to miss. Things are going to look very different around here. But until then, we'll see you next Thursday. Goodbye.